We're gonna talk about my yo-yos. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted this. This is for me to procrastinate packing up my stuff. I'm moving. I hate moving. I don't want to be moving anymore. I'd rather be doing anything else. So I'm gonna make a video about my yo-yo collection. And you're gonna watch. You're gonna watch because I told you to. We're gonna start with this case. I don't have a large yo-yo collection, but I have enough for it to be considered a problem. I'm pretty new to the hobby. I've only been yo-yoing for probably about a year. I'm alright, you know, I'm not great. I could be better. I'll continue to get better. But I really like buying yo-yos. So we're gonna start with this yo-yo. This is called a Windoundery. Windoundery. That's a terrible name. That's a really bad name. For a really great yo-yo, I should say. I love this thing. This is the first yo-yo that I bought when I wanted to take yo-yoing seriously. It was 45 bucks. At the time, that felt like a lot of money for a yo-yo. We'll get into these guys, okay? But at the time, 45 bucks was kind of crazy. But the internet told me I needed this, and the internet was right. This is by C3 Yo-Yo Design, which is a Chinese company. They're at the top of their game, okay? They're doing incredible things with yo-yos. They're doing incredible things with yo-yos. This thing is so wide. This catch zone, it's so wide. It was made for 5A, which is a style of yo-yo that uses a counterweight, which is what this strangled panda situation is. But you use the counterweight and you incorporate it into the tricks. So you kind of fling it around like so, like that. You don't have the yo-yo attached to your hand. It's a very difficult style of yo-yoing. It's very difficult. It's very hard, okay? Am I great at it?
No.
But it's fun. Because this yo-yo was made for 5A, it's very durable. I have flung this thing, it's hit walls, it's hit the ground, and it's got, you know, marks, but it's held up pretty well. I would call this my favorite yo-yo, just because it's been with me the longest, it's the most durable, it feels like such a standard yo-yo. It feels so perfect. The spin time is awesome for a mono metal, which means it doesn't have the steel rings around here. It spins so well. I would recommend this to anybody, but I don't think you can find it anymore other than in buy-sell trade forums online. I don't think you can just like go and purchase it new, which is really sad because this thing is awesome. I didn't love the red at first. I'm just not really a big fan of the color red in general. It's very aggressive, but it's grown on me. It screams toy, you know? It's a very toy kind of red. It's the only red one in my collection, and I'm cool with that. All right, this next yo-yo is a Tropic Alien by Recess. Recess is a company started by Tyler Severance, who is a former world champion yo-yoer. He's super cool. He does a lot of work with like kids who are bored and have very little resources. He introduces yo-yoing to them, gives yo-yos away. He's like somebody I watch and copy and emulate. So I really appreciate him and his company. Really love the Tropic Alien. So this is the big brother of a yo-yo, which I'm going to grab from the second box, called the Snack. So this is a Snack. This is a Tropic Alien. And they're the same design, but this one's bigger and this one's smaller. I did ding it. It vibes a little, you know, I messed that up. Okay, my bad. I pick it up a lot. Feels great. It feels pretty floaty. And the Snack, which is the little brother, this is the yo-yo that I take like in my purse, in my pocket. It's very small. I don't worry about it so much. I have a lot of fun with it. It's pretty weighty. It's like a condensed version of this, so you can definitely feel the weight. It almost feels like a rock on a string, which is something that people say when a yo-yo doesn't feel good to play with, but I think it's a really positive thing about this yo-yo. Because it's so small, I would be upset if it didn't feel like anything. So I like the weightiness of it. I like the size of it. I love that it's called a Snack. It looks like a snack. There's a colorway of this that looks like the Jimmy Neutron candy that took over the town when everybody was like, oh, I can't stop eating the candy. And I tried to, you can't buy it on the website. I tried to buy it off a guy on Facebook and he didn't come through, but I like this colorway a lot. It looks like watermelon. Kind of reminds me of Sour Patch Kids. The next yo-yo is called an Otter by Caribou Lodge Yo-Yo Works. I think they're just called Caribou Lodge now. but they make really cool yo-yos. They have a huge fan base. This was the first one that I bought, and it's black, which at first I was like pretty averse to, but I saw the engraving and I thought, that's pretty cool. It's an otter. This is Harrison Lee's signature yo-yo, and he's a really cool yo-yoer. He has this video on the internet, on YouTube, that's like, you know, just kind of like a clickbaity title. But he's really great, and I really love the otter. It's also pretty floaty. It kind of plays like an organic a little bit. That's just kind of that's a yo-yo term. It's got this rounded edge here that just makes it really fun to play. And I actually really like the black with the neon. I used to think, like, why would you get black when you can get, you know, pink or blue? But as my collection grew, I started to see the appeal. I got this one for passing my dissertation defense, which was really just an excuse to buy another yo-yo. I don't know, I think it's a nice gift for myself. I don't play with it so much because it's kind of a collector's item. I just kind of dinged it there. I think it's okay though. But it's kind of a collector's item. It's an unknown edition. It's got this UN right here. I try not to baby my yo-yos. I really don't love the concept of babying stuff. You know, like shoe collectors who baby their shoes. Like, that's a shoe, you should wear it, right? It's a yo-yo, you should play with it. So I play with all my yo-yos, but I try to take care of that one, you know? I also try to take care of this one. So we're getting into my bimetals now, which are my more expensive yo-yos. So what a bimetal yo-yo is it's a yo-yo that has a ring around it, usually steel, around the aluminum body. And what that helps with is it helps with speed, it helps with stability, it spins a lot longer, feels faster, feels better, quality of life improvement adding these steel rings. But it does make it more expensive. So this was my first bimetal yo-yo. I got this for Christmas, last Christmas. I got this on the Black Friday sale, which is like the only time Yo-Yo Expert has sales. It was about $100. I think it's normally $120, something like that. Pretty expensive. My mom was like, why do you need a $100 yo-yo? And I'm like, well, you know, you like diamonds. This is just the thing that I like that's, you know, I don't like diamonds. I like yo-yos instead. Which is weird. Okay, I accept that. I don't know, look at that. It's stunning. It's kind of like a diamond. It's got this incredible engraving here. So this is a Wild by Wild, and it's similar to the Klondike, which is by Caribou Lodge. A lot of people like the Klondike. A lot of people have the Klondike. I wanted to be different, okay? And I wanted to have something like the Klondike. This one caught my eye because of the winter edition engravings. I like the blue, and it's got this great box. You know, this really felt like something to me. This was like, okay, I'm committed to this hobby now. And I could sell these, you know, if I ever leave yo-yoing, but I don't think I'm going to. I play with this one a lot. It feels super fast. It makes me feel like a pro. But I am a little mad because I dinged it. There's this zippered pocket here on this case, but that doesn't exist on this case. So this was like the first case and the only case that I had for a while. And I kept all my stuff in that pocket. And I kept a metal bearing removal tool up there. Silly me, I thought I was being safe by putting my yo-yos in here, closing it, taking my yo-yos with me. But the bearing removal tool dinged against the edge of this. I didn't ding it or anything on the ground. It was just that removal tool, and it chipped away at the paint there. So I'm kind of mad about that, but it's made me a little more comfortable picking this up and playing with it and not treating it as a collector's item, because it does play really well. And Wild is they're doing incredible things with yo-yos. They're doing incredible things with yo-yos. This is an outlier. I'm sure like a bunch of 10-year-olds have these, and I'm sure of that because this is designed by Brandon Vu, who is like the YouTube yo-yoer. He's really cool. I like him. He's the same age as me. It's weird. I watch him and I'm like, oh, okay. You're doing a whole different thing than I am. YouTube yo-yo empire. He's designed this series of outlier yo-yos, and you can see it has the outlier name on the rim right there. This is an Outlier Plus. He went with the Plus because it was the fourth one, but he was like, well, this is it. This is the one. I'm not going to make any more past this. But then he did. Now there's an Outlier 5, and it's really wide. This is pretty wide for a yo-yo. That's kind of Brandon Vu's thing, is making really wide yo-yos, which is cool. I do really like this yo-yo. I reach for this one a lot. It feels kind of like a standard to me. This was built for competition. I don't compete. I don't care about that. I'm not good enough to compete. Okay, you'll never believe what I just did. I had to put this camera in the freezer. It stopped recording. It said internal temperature is at max, and so I wanted to finish the video. I put it in the freezer. It seems fine now. I saw that I had some Halo Top, so I started eating that. I like the salted caramel butter. This is the mint chip. I wouldn't recommend it. What was I saying about this? I don't compete. I'm not that good. I'm pretty bad at yo-yoing. I'm not pretty bad. I'm not at the level of competition that competition's at. I don't know the meta. This is funny because it's actually the combination of two YouTube TikTok yo-yoers. So Brandon Vu designed it, I think, with the guy who does the Luftwerk yo-yos, which are like beloved. I don't have one. I want one. I'll get one eventually. But the colorway is an Angel 2-Up colorway. So if you've seen a viral YouTube video, it was Brandon Vu probably, or Angel 2-Up, or Gentry Stein, who we'll get to in a second. The Angel 2-Up colorway is actually the best colorway. This orange and pink is incredible. It's a B grade, so yo-yos are either A grade or B grade. A grade means it's perfect, no flaws. Well, okay, no flaws. It's really smooth, plays great. Top tier yo-yoing. B grade typically has something wrong with it. It vibes a little. There's something wrong with the anodization. Honestly, I can't tell what the problem is with this. B grades are less money typically than A grades, so you get them at a discount. I don't know, it plays like an A grade. But that's, oh my gosh. That's for the best, I guess. This is my third and last bimetal. This is something my brother got me for Christmas as a total surprise. I was stunned. I was floored. This is not cheap. This is not a cheap yo-yo. This is a Shutter Elite, and it's awesome. It's so cool. I love this yo-yo. Its shape is really different from most other yo-yos. You'll see it has this like tornado situation, whereas this is more just like cut, just kind of uniformly. But the Shutter has this telltale sort of rounded into cutout situation here. And I like this way better than the original Shutter, which we'll get to in a second. Yeah, it looks awesome, plays awesome. I go for it a lot. This is Gentry Stein's signature yo-yo. Bro, blonde boy, California yo-yoer. He's cool, he does cool stuff, he's great at yo-yoing, right? He's been playing with this for years and years and years. Yo-Yo Factory, who is the manufacturer, has been perfecting it. I have my problems with Yo-Yo Factory. I'm not gonna get into it. This is a cool yo-yo. My brother got it for me. I play with it. It's great. You'll notice that all the yo-yoers I've been talking about are men yo-yoers. There are, women yo-yoers, but I don't know. I need to get better. I need to get better at yo-yoing. Okay, this is the second box. We've talked about the snack. Love this thing. This is like, I think it's like an original Shutter, and I kind of hate it. So you'll see the differences, right? This Shutter is smaller than this one. It obviously doesn't have the bimetal. It's the same shape, but it's just somehow so much worse. I don't know how anybody won competitions or even learned tricks or played with this back in the day. I guess it's a skill issue. I don't know. It's really not enjoyable to play with. Unstable, will lean one way or the other pretty intensely. It doesn't spin for a long time. For me, anyway. I'm sure somebody like, I don't know, Jensen Kimmett could, make this work. Because professional yo-yoers who have won a lot of competitions like to play with, plastic yo-yos just to be like, oh, I'm so good I can play with a bad yo-yo and still win. And that's cool. I can't do that. I don't like playing with this. It was like $20 on a forum. I don't know, I'm trying to offload it. I don't really want it anymore. I guess the cool thing about it is that it's a collector thing. I haven't seen this colorway a lot. I don't know, I don't play with it, so what's it to me? This is a Magic Yo-Yo YO3 Hertz. Okay, the thing about these yo-yos is that they're kind of Amazon garbage and they're kind of not. People really like them and I like this one. I just bought this one because I was at my parents' house, which is 2,000 miles away from here, and I didn't bring any yo-yos with me. So I bought this one, or the one I had was one before this one, which I really messed up by putting a responsive bearing in. And what a bearing is this metal thing that keeps the yo-yo spinning sort of indefinitely. It's a ball bearing. I tried replacing it with a responsive bearing to do responsive tricks because responsive's pretty cool. And it was just way too small for the yo-yo, and I tried to use pliers to get it out, and I just effed it up pretty severely. But I liked the yo-yo enough that I wanted to reorder it. It's like 20 bucks, if that. And it's really cool. It's really cool for Amazon garbage. I like it. I should play with it more. And people actually respect Magic Yo-Yo. It's like the only yo-yo you can find on Amazon. Okay, I just had to replace my battery because it died. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's just like good for what it is. This is an iYoyo shooting star. It's plastic, which is different from the other yo-yos that I've talked about so far. It's got glitter inside. I love the glitter. I love the blue and green. This is so cool. The cool thing about plastic is it doesn't hurt when you smack yourself. It hurts a little bit, okay? Like when you smack yourself with anything, it's gonna hurt a little bit. But it doesn't hurt like this is gonna hurt when you smack your hand, your knuckles when it's coming back to you. So for that reason, it's recommended as a beginner yo-yo, like a starter yo-yo. And it's also recommended because you can replace, it comes with a responsive bearing, which means when you tug, when you like drop it and you tug, it comes back up. And then when you're ready to move on to unresponsive, which is what people tend to use when they like get into yo-yo tricks, you can switch to an unresponsive bearing, and for unresponsive, you have to use a trick called a bind, which is where you introduce string into the gap, introduce some friction so that it the bearing stops and it comes back to your hand. If you don't use that trick, the yo-yo will just keep spinning because of that bearing. So you can do both styles of play with this one yo-yo. It's like 30 bucks and it's really cool. 30 bucks is a lot for a plastic yo-yo. For some people, for me, totally worth it. Because this will play like, okay, I don't know that it plays like this, right? But it plays like a mono metal, I would say. Except that it feels obviously a little different because of the plastic, but it can do all the big boy tricks. It'll do what you want it to do. And it looks really cool. I really recommend this. If you're gonna get into yo-yoing, get the iYoyo shooting star. iYoyo makes a lot of cool yo-yos. They're really into plastics, I think. I really want the iceberg. The iceberg is what I thought I was gonna get when I first got into bimetal yo-yos, but I ended up getting the Wild by Wild. It's got these finger spin dimples. People are really interested and, I don't know, mesmerized by the trick called DNA, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of boring. It's the trick where you spin it on your finger. I can't do it when it's not moving, but you spin it on your finger and then you pull the string up and it makes like it used to be called like a tornado or something. But finger spinning is really hot in yo-yoing right now, which is really relative because yo-yoing is never hot, right? It's always going to be a niche thing. This yo-yo can do it all, is what I'm saying. It'll do it all. It'll do anything. Looks great, feels great. The snack was here, and we've already talked about the snack. Really cool. This is just a wooden yo-yo that I got in the insane town of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you've been to Gatlinburg, you know what I'm talking about. That place is weird. But we went on a family vacation recently because I wanted to experience childhood nostalgia. I grew up in Kentucky. We would take trips to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. So I wanted to go back. And I was like, I wonder if there's a yo-yo in this town. And as far as I know, this one toy store is the only place that had them. And I really like this Fox. It's cute. It's a fixed axle, which means there's no bearing in here. It's a very narrow gap. It comes up. Well, that was terrible. But it comes up when you tug, just like a classic yo-yo. This string is actually pretty thick and cool. And it was a lot of fun to play with in Gatlinburg and like the few days afterwards, just to carry around and have. And this was an Instagram ad that I got suckered by. And suckered is an interesting word, okay? Because I'm gonna buy Snoopy stuff, okay? I've accepted that about myself, and Instagram knows me. I just kind of have to be okay with that. It's really cute. Look at him flying with his ears. He says, "Butterflies like me." This is a Duncan butterfly, which means it's a Duncan butterfly. You've probably seen these at Walmart. It goes down, it comes back up. You could probably do a side mount if you really wanted to. I'm not gonna try. I just kind of play with it when I want to fiddle around with something. And then I've got these two. Whoops. And then I've got these two. Or these two packages from Magic Yo-Yo. One is from the first Magic Yo-Yo that I messed up. The second is obviously from the one in the bag now. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a Duncan Imperial. If you non-yo-yoer, please stay that way. This has cost me a lot of money. You probably bought one of these. It looks like this. Pretty classic yo-yo. You can find it at Walmart. I hate this thing so much. I hate it. And the reason why I don't like it is because there's this challenge on the Yo-Yo Expert forums called Fixed Axle February. It's a month of challenges, and one of the challenges from this year was, can you do a trick on a Duncan Imperial? And the answer is yes. I spent several hours just trying to do like a standard side mount on this, because the gap here is so narrow. Like, compare that to this. You can land anything in here. You have to get the string in here if you want to land any sort of side mount or any sort of mount situation at all. And it feels so bad, it's so uneven, unbalanced. It goes down, it comes back up, and it doesn't even do that well. But I did this trick called Makin' Dozines for Fixed Axle February. And I won this little counterweight, which I haven't used. It's kind of weird. I think somebody made it out of clay. I don't know, but it felt good to win something. And I really never want to pick it up again. It feels bad. Then I have this, which is a Yo-Yo Factory whip. Like I said, I got my problems with Yo-Yo Factory, but I don't know. The thing about this is that you can find it at Hobby Lobby, and it's only $7. And it's a good yo-yo. This is the yo-yo that I recommended my friend to buy when she wanted to start yo-yoing. You can learn a side mount on it. So it comes with a responsive bearing, but you can change it to unresponsive. It doesn't come with it, but you can like find an unresponsive bearing and put it inside. And that's actually how I learned how to do a side mount. And that's how I learned how to do a bind, was with an unresponsive bearing in a whip yo-yo. It's pretty, small compared to like these, competition-esque yo-yos. And you have to replace the string when you buy this yo-yo because the string it comes with is really short. It has a classic feel to me, and it's plastic, you're not gonna hurt yourself with it. I wanna like get a bunch of these and give them away. I want people to be like, whoa, that's a cool thing you're doing, yo-yoing. And I want to be like, yeah, here you go, kid, and introduce yo-yoing to their lives. I think that's what this yo-yo is good for. It's $7. What more could you ask for? In here, we've got some Pro-Yos. And this is what I graduated to in Fixed Axle February after the Duncan Imperial, when I was like, hey, I can't do anything else with this. Some people on the forums were like, well, have you heard about Pro-Yos? They're pretty fun. I've had a lot of fun with these. The gap here is bigger. If you get the string like anywhere in this area, it'll go into the gap. With this, because the cut is so severe, you really have to get that into the gap. But you'll see this is kind of rounded, which makes that gap entrance, I guess, easier. And I bought 2 of them because there were challenges in Fixed Axle February that dealt with 2 yo-yos. These are Duncan. This is Duncan. The butterfly in here is Duncan. These are all Duncan yo-yos, and that's fine. If it's getting people into yo-yos, then it's good. This is string. I'm going to show you some string. Really cool thing about being into yo-yos is you get really into string. So this is plutonium. It's real life, actual plutonium. It's radioactive. This is Yo-Yo String Lab plutonium. This is what I've been using. This is a string by Evan Nagao, who is a world champion, previous world champion yo-yoer. He also does YouTube stuff. He kind of messed that up for himself a little bit. I don't know. This string is all right. I think I like it. It's pretty whippy. You can do slack tricks with it. I like the color of it. This is another string. This is called Ammo, and it says World Champion Signature String. I don't know whose it is. I don't love it. It's very soft. It doesn't like whip very well. So that can be fine. I also don't love the fact I got this like pretty early in my yo-yo journey, so I was really into the different colors, but I've leaned into the neon. Everybody who videos themselves pretty much uses neon because it pops. It fluoresces in black light. This color works well with, like, I got it for this red yo-yo, and it worked well for that. It just doesn't pop. And like I said, I'm just really leaning into the neon, just following the crowd here. The string that's on most of these yo-yos is actually Sochi and Alpha Line. So I've been starting to replace it with this plutonium. But I really like, and I would have gotten more of the Sochi and Alpha Line. I think it's called Zip Line, but they were out of stock. So I just went with this. Like I said, I'm still trying to decide whether I actually like it or not. But that's my yo-yo collection, and I'm really sorry.